Please consider liking the video and subscribing. Let's begin. Marvel and DC, two sides to a coin that have a very loyal fandom. We know that in the past, Marvel has been dominating the movie scene, and I know that recently it looks like they're losing their touch, but the future does look brighter than it's been before. As for DC, ever since the Dark Knight trilogy ended all the way back in 2012, it has never been the same. Though they've had some very successful movies that were good, currently they can't match Marvel's influence and presence in the movie scene. But with the recent news of a Marvel and DC reteaming to continue making their crossover comics that had been out of print for a while, it could open the door to even a bigger crossover, perhaps on the big screen. In this video, I wanted to pitch my idea of a Marvel x DC crossover movie. Now, I know I can't please everyone, so if you have an idea of your own, please write it down below. I'd be very happy to read it. Anyway, sit back and let's dive into this. Darkseid is tired of constantly losing to the Justice League, and Superman especially. He devises a plan, but needs a highly intelligent genius. He recruits Brainiac, offering him a deal. Join him, and he will have many worlds under his command, or be against him and die. Brainiac chooses to join him. They feed off of each other's ideas, to once and for all conquer everything and destroy the heroes of their universe, but especially the Justice League. They devise a plan to trap all of them. Brainiac goes to Earth and begins destroying cities. The Justice League is sent to stop them. They fight, but eventually, Brainiac takes the fight up to space. Brainiac singles out Superman and begins to fight him. The others try to help, but Darkseid steps in and makes his appearance and holds them off. It is revealed that a Kryptonian megaton bomb is on the ship. If detonated, would heavily weaken Superman and potentially kill the others. Superman forces the other members to leave, demanding the Flash to get them out. The Flash hesitates, but quickly follows through, grabbing each member and running back to Earth. The bomb detonates, and Superman is caught in the blow. Brainiac and Darkseid teleport themselves, along with Superman, who is now unconscious, to a world hidden in a pocket dimension. Through countless efforts and tries, Brainiac successfully corrupts and controls Superman's mind. Darkseid realizes that with one of the most powerful beings at his command, virtually there is no one left to stop them. The three travel the universe, ravaging and killing off any hero or villain who is deemed a threat. The Justice League, now in hiding, devises a plan to stop them. Batman realizes that with every day that passes, millions are killed across the universe. Batman locates and convinces Lex Luthor to help them, telling them that at this point, it doesn't matter who's good and who's evil. Eventually, there will be nothing left. Lex Luthor agrees, and the two decide that they need help from somewhere else, somewhere beyond this universe. They have to try and find something out there. So Batman and Lex Luthor create a portal that, with extreme speed, can send anyone across different realities and other universes. Flash is tasked with finding help. He charges and runs at a speed that has never been seen before. Everything goes black, and the Flash wakes up in the Marvel Universe. He finds himself on Earth 616, seeing an entirely different universe where many heroes exist. He goes to this world's Justice League, which he learns is the Avengers. After brief confusion, he explains to them what's going on in his universe, and that he needs their help. The Avengers agree, and the Flash, Iron Man, Bruce Banner all recreate the portal Batman and Lex made. But back in the DC universe, Darkseid, Brainiac, and Superman rampage continue. They end up at the end of time. They confront the Time Trapper, a being who lives at the end of time and is extremely powerful. They threaten the Time Trapper and tell him that this universe will be destroyed along with him. The Time Trapper offers them a deal. To spare his life, he tells them that another universe full of heroes and villains exists out of the boundaries of this one, and they can be theirs for the taking. He knows this because he sent something when the Flash traveled to the Marvel Universe. The Time Trapper briefly had a look at the Marvel Universe during this time. The three take him up on his deal, but the Time Trapper tells them one last thing, that the only way to get there is by a very advanced teleportation machine that only one man can build. The Justice League keep Lex Luthor around for extra help in case trouble arrives, and it does. Superman bolts in the Justice League compound and without wasting any time grabs Lex and fights off the other members, but not killing them. Perhaps Superman isn't completely gone. Superman escapes with Lex Luthor in hand. Brainiac forces Lex Luthor to help him build the same portal he built for the Justice League, just without the assistance of the Flash's speed. Lex, having no other choice, does so, believing he will be spared once he's finished. Superman grabs him and rips off his head, putting an end to their long-time feud. But before they can leave, the Justice League finds out their location due to Batman putting a tracker on Lex without him knowing. They all fight, and the portal is activated, and all of them get transported to the Marvel Universe. Now, that's just a synopsis. Now, as far as like the small details of the things that would happen throughout the movie, that's up to the directors and the many writers. Hey, I'm just one man. Also, another thing I wanted to add was the movie could be done in two ways. One where it's live action, and the other where it's entirely animated. Personally, I think that this would work really well as a live action movie, but then I think to myself, imagine a movie like this with a Spider-Verse style animation. So really, it can work both ways. But back to live action. If it were to be like that, I think that everyone in the MCU would need to come back. The actors of the golden age of Marvel Studios. Robert Downey, Chris Evans, Scarlett, bring them all back. The stage would be set. The Justice League and the Avengers versus Darkseid, Brainiac, and evil Superman. Avengers Secret Wars is set to be a giant movie with literally everyone and everything happening, and while I hope it's done justice and is actually a good movie, a Marvel and DC crossover movie would be a very, very good, and I think even bigger than that, because you're bringing in two giant superhero companies with many popular heroes and villains, and bringing together two giant fandoms. In my opinion, if a movie like this were to be made, then it would be the biggest pop culture event of all time. But there is a huge downside to this sort of thing. You can't possibly please everyone. People will have their own opinions on what should have happened or who should have been in the movie. First of all, there just isn't enough time to bring in a lot of heroes and villains. There's just too many of them. The movie would be like 10, 15 hours plus. Like, come on now. And while yes, people who are fans of these franchises should have the right to speak their opinion, in order to minimize this effect, then the movie would need the right directors and people behind it. That's why I think the three heads of the Marvel's most successful movies should direct this one. James Gunn, who is currently the one in charge of the DCU, and the Russo brothers. I know that James Gunn has had some minor problems with them because of the way they handled Peter Quill in Infinity War, and it is completely understandable, that's his character, and the way they wrote him, he didn't appreciate that, very understandable. I think that for something like this, they need to put their heads together and great creative minds to make a great movie, and a movie especially this size. If Three Steam Men were to do that, then this would be something awesome. Also, this movie should not be canon to anything because Marvel and DC are their own things. They are each building or continuing their own universes, so why make things more complicated by having to explain a giant crossover event through many different movies? This movie should be marketed as a special event. Here are some of the big moments I feel like would need to be included in this film. The first would obviously have to be an epic, gigantic showdown between Superman and the Hulk, finally ending the debate as to who would win in a fight. Imagine an evil Superman bent on killing and conquering, and an angry Hulk who wants to protect his friends. Personally, I think the Hulk would win this fight. Who do you think would win? Other scenes that would be cool to see would be an interaction between heroes who are similar. For example, Iron Man and Batman, two billionaires who are geniuses and care about protecting the innocent. An exchange between them two would be very interesting to see on screen. The Flash and Spider-Man, two young guys of the group who are kind of seen as the kids. How would they get along? Finally, a Thor and Wonder Woman interaction. We know that Thor kinda has a thing for strong women, so this would be kinda cool to see. Now, how would a movie of this size end? Well, here's my own ending. We would see the Avengers and Justice League take down Darkseid and Brainiac, defeating them and forcing them back to the universe, while Superman is partially imprisoned by Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne. With the help of Wanda, she reverts his mind back into the Clark Kent that we know. Superman would be devastated, realizing all of the lives that he took while he was brainwashed. The Avengers would offer him a place to stay and try to help him heal, and he would agree. Superman feels like he isn't worthy of going back to his universe for a while. The Justice League and Superman part ways, but the Avengers stay in touch so that when Clark is ready to be sent back, they will know. Also, having a portal to an entire universe of heroes isn't a bad idea just in case another catastrophic cosmic event occurs. The end. Now, I know I am my own worst critic. There are many plot holes to my idea, but I think an overall film like this would be cool. I don't want to go the route of having every Justice League member turn evil from Brainiac, as we already seen that, and that idea can be handled very poorly. But I needed someone very powerful to turn, so that's why I picked Superman. This could also be open to a sequel, but maybe a one and done is the better option. So let me know what you think down below. And hey, if Warner Brothers or Disney's listening, if you need an extra mind in the writer's room, I'm open to the deal. Anyway, I want to say thank you so much for the amazing support on my channel. We are approaching 700 subscribers. Thank you so much for that. Please like the video and subscribe. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.